What if I told you that the secret to not giving your power away lies hidden in ancient Buddhist wisdom that can transform how you relate to others and yourself? Imagine walking through life carrying an invisible treasure chest filled with your personal power and energy. Now picture the challenge: how to protect that treasure so no one else takes control of it without making you feel like you're building walls around your heart. This, at its core, is the remarkable teaching offered by Buddhism on how not to give power to others. Today, we will dive deep into the ancient wisdom that guides us on reclaiming our inner strength, setting healthy emotional boundaries, and nurturing true self-mastery that goes beyond superficial control. We'll unfold the layers step by step, reflecting on how Buddhist teachings illuminate our path to autonomy, resilience, and compassion without surrendering our inner peace. Buddhism isn't about shutting people out or dominating others. Rather, it emphasizes understanding the transient nature of self and relationships while fostering harmony within and without. First, let's define what it means to give power to others. Often, people unconsciously give away their power by relying too heavily on external validation, approval, or control. These are moments when the reactions, opinions, or demands of others start to dictate how we feel, decide, or act. This dynamic creates a drain on our personal energy and often causes distress or conflict. Buddhist philosophy teaches us about the concept of attachment and craving, particularly how craving external validation or control can lead to suffering. To not give away power means to recognize this craving and gently release it through mindfulness and insight. One of the foundational Buddhist tools to understand this is the practice of mindfulness, or sati. Mindfulness means being fully present with our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment. When we are mindful, we become aware of the subtle ways we might be giving away our power, perhaps through insecurity, fear of rejection, or neediness. And through this awareness, we choose a different response rather than reacting automatically. With mindfulness, we consistently bring ourselves back home to our center, creating a stable ground where our power rests securely within us, not in external circumstances or people. Next, Buddhism introduces the wisdom of impermanence, or anicca. Everything in life is always changing, including our relationships and the opinions others hold about us. Recognizing this impermanence helps us understand that attaching our self-worth to fleeting approval or criticism is unstable and ultimately futile. When we see that nothing is fixed, we can loosen our grip on needing to control others' perceptions and instead focus on cultivating a steady sense of self rooted in present moment experience. Another deeply empowering concept is the understanding of anatta, or non-self. This teaching reveals that what we conventionally call self is actually a dynamic flow of experiences, thoughts, and feelings rather than a permanent entity. This realization reduces the hold of ego-driven fears and insecurities that often cause us to give power away in attempts to protect or prove ourselves. Instead, we begin to see our identity as fluid and interconnected, allowing us to release rigid attachments and respond with greater freedom and kindness, both to ourselves and to others. The Buddha's teachings emphasize compassion and loving kindness, which might seem surprising when discussing how not to give power away. But these qualities are essential because they free us from reactive anger or defensiveness that often fuels unhealthy power exchanges. By cultivating genuine compassion for ourselves and those around us, we shift from a mindset of competition or fear to one of understanding and cooperation. This doesn't mean allowing ourselves to be mistreated or manipulated. Rather, it means responding with clarity and calm, protecting our boundaries without aggression or resentment. Central to Buddhism is the middle way, a balanced path between extremes. When it comes to personal power, this means neither giving it away by submitting to others uncritically, nor seizing control in an overbearing or domineering way. The middle way teaches us to respond skillfully and thoughtfully to situations, holding firm to our values while remaining open and flexible. This balance nurtures true strength that is not brittle or defensive, but resilient and adaptable. Let's also explore the practice of meditation, a cornerstone in Buddhist training. Meditation helps train the mind to observe tendencies, such as the habit of handing over control to others or seeking approval. With consistent practice, we develop increased self-awareness and gain the capacity to pause in challenging moments, choosing responses that protect our inner autonomy. Meditation cultivates a calm, clear mind that is less easily swayed by emotional turbulence or external pressures. Now, consider the role of boundaries, both emotional and energetic. While Buddhism does not use the modern language of personal boundaries, its principles encourage us to recognize our limits kindly and firmly. Understanding that we are not responsible for others' feelings or reactions liberates us from unnecessary guilt or overextension. This insight helps us to say no when needed, prioritize our well-being, and engage with others from a place of genuine choice rather than obligation or fear. We must remember that compassion includes compassion toward ourselves, which often means protecting our energy and not overgiving to others at our own expense. Another practical approach comes from the idea of right speech and right intention as part of the Noble Eightfold Path. By cultivating honesty, kindness, and clear intention in our communication, we avoid power games that arise from manipulation, deceit, or control tactics. Speaking truthfully and respectfully establishes trust and mutual empowerment instead of dependency or dominance. This empowers both parties and reduces the risk of power imbalances taking hold. The principle of non-attachment extends to outcomes, reminding us that we do our best without clinging to specific results or approval. This detachment from outcome keeps us centered and less vulnerable to losing power when situations or people do not respond as we hope. It is also important to recognize how habitual patterns from early life can predispose us to give away power. Buddhism encourages us to look deeply at these patterns with curiosity and kindness, not blame. By understanding these mechanisms, we can gently disrupt unhealthy cycles and develop freer, healthier ways of relating to others. Let's now reflect on the idea that power given is power surrendered. Buddhist teachings invite us to reclaim this power by cultivating self-respect and trust in our inner resources. When we honor our feelings and intuition, we build a deep reservoir of confidence that others' opinions cannot easily shake. This inner strength is the foundation for authentic relationships based on mutual respect rather than control or dependency. Imagine facing conflicts or difficult relationships not with fear or defensiveness, but with a calm, grounded presence. This is the fruit of Buddhist practice, a power that shines softly but surely, ungrabbed by power struggles yet fully capable of wise, compassionate action. We can think of this as sacred sovereignty, a way to be fully ourselves without needing to bend, hide, or fight for approval. In this sovereignty, we recognize the dignity and worthiness of all beings, including ourselves, creating space for connection without losing autonomy. Finally, embracing generosity and gratitude as ongoing practices further supports our inner power. Generosity lets go of clinging to resources or control and opens the heart to abundance and trust in life's flow. Gratitude shifts focus from what is lacking to what is present, strengthening resilience and joy. Through these qualities, we become sources of light rather than draining others or being drained ourselves. To summarize, Buddhist teachings provide a comprehensive pathway to not giving power away to others, an integration of mindfulness, insight into impermanence and no-self, compassionate boundaries, balanced responses, and grounded self-awareness. These principles invite us into a personal and collective transformation from reactive disempowerment to conscious, compassionate empowerment. Embodying these teachings does not happen overnight. It is a lifelong journey full of learning, slips, and breakthroughs. But every step taken reclaims the treasure chest of inner power, making it possible to live with freedom, kindness, and strength in a world that often challenges both heart and mind. Imagine the kind of life you can build when the influence of others no longer controls your sense of self or your decisions. This is not about isolation, but about joyous interconnection from a foundation of true self-autonomy. This vision is the essence of Buddhist empowerment, a timeless gift for all who seek it. Keep these teachings close and practice them gently and consistently, and watch as your personal power flourishes, reshaping your world from the inside out. If you found this video helpful and inspiring, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this wisdom with others who may benefit from it. We'll see you in the next video.